Hello and welcome to my channel, I Win to Lose Gaming. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what I think is effectively close to the minimum viable team to 30 star the Memory of Chaos. So let's take a quick look at what I managed to accomplish and what it also took to accomplish. And today, we've got a word from someone you've never seen sponsor a video before. Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends has over 600 champions to collect. Make your perfect team with quadrillion champion combinations to annihilate everything. The first episode of Raid, Call of the Arbiter, is out now, and from this episode you can get the Orc Warlord Artak completely free, just by logging into Raid for 7 days between now and July 24th. You're sure to love your new Orc Husbando Artak after watching episode 1. But besides the completely free Orc Husbando that we all get, Raid is known for its countless free summons just by playing the game. The first champion I summoned is this total cutie pie War Boy, and the second one is this Dark Elf Husbando Wanderer. Reminds me of a certain other large hat wearing individual. And my favorite pull of them all is this super cute Fellhound. What a good boy. And even though some of them aren't that great in combat, we can cannibalize them to provide a power boost to actually great champions. So what are you waiting for? New players, smash that link down below or scan the QR code right here and get a free starter pack with this cool in-game loot. Huge thanks to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video. This is the Memory of Chaos, all 10 stages, and I finally managed to actually 30 star the Memory of Chaos, which means 3 starring all 10 stages. Now, in order to 3 star, you have to obviously beat it within the recommended amount of cycles. And this will also give you guys an idea of how much investment in terms of my team building, farming, and all this stuff it took for me to finally get to this point. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. So basically what I've been doing for some time now is I've been just farming every day, doing the maximum refreshes, and finally I've also been trying Memory of Chaos maybe every other day or every day for a little bit, depending on how close I am to achieving this 3-star goal. I think I accomplished this, it was either yesterday or the day before yesterday, but I probably could have done it even before that with enough grinding and, just kind of trying and spending hours trying to get the proper crits and rolls on, Memory of Chaos 9 and 10. But I decided to, to respect my time and basically say, hey, if I can't really do it in 1 or 2 tries on these days, then at this point, I don't think my account is really ready for it. So first of all, let's take a look at my characters, and this is pretty much the exact point of when I was able to finally 3-star everything in Memory of Chaos, was with these characters, with these stats. So if we take a look at my Seele, we can see that she has, some stats here and there, and she has a pretty mediocre crit rate to crit damage ratio. She does have her signature light cone at super imposition 1, and I did want to keep this account not at super whale levels, but at kind of if a free to play is to spend a lot of time and a lot of time grinding and farming, after some months, their account will be roughly at this stage in the game. So we'll talk about roughly how long I think it will take free to plays to get to this point. But right now, this is where my account is. So we'll get to that in a bit. We can see her traces are reasonably leveled up. I've been farming more to level up her traces more, but I left them where they are since I cleared Memory of Chaos 10. So my relics on her are pretty mediocre, all things considered, but they all rolled into a bunch of speed, which is kind of funny. I didn't really want that much speed on her, but I guess I'm taking it. And I think the speed actually did help a lot, but we have speed on this one. This one is probably my best piece on my Seele. We have this attack percent boots with some speed as well and crit damage, and we have this 4-star quantum damage sphere still, along with this very so-so link rope. So we can see that the relics aren't that great, but Seele was able to do her part in the Memory of Chaos. So the next character is Jingyuan. My Jingyuan is overall better built than my Sele. I did invest a little bit more into him, but he is also at E0. I forgot to mention my Sele is at Eidolon 0. So is my Jing Yuan. And he does have his signature light cone as well as his traces. I ended up maxing out his Lightning Lord passive talent, and his relics are a bit better than Sele's as well. I did get a little bit lucky on getting some double crit pieces, even though it didn't really roll that much into the substats, but hey, that's actually pretty solid at this stage in the game to have any double crit pieces. And his jacket, boots, I do have him on speed boots because none of my other pieces have a single point of speed, which is needed for him to go twice. That's okay. I mean, he's doing a bit less damage because of that. See, I do have these attack boots that I do want to use, but in order to do that, I have to go back farming some relics and get some pieces with speed on it because none of my pieces have a single point in speed, and he needs, I believe, 2 points of speed to break 100 in order to go twice per round or per turn in Memory of Chaos, thanks to the buff that Memory of Chaos provides a free turn for Erudition characters. Okay, next character, Bailu. She's still at level 70, and really I learned at this point that, for healers and stuff, you just need them to heal you just enough not to die in those 10 to 20 turns that you need to stay alive for. Her relics are still these doo-doo 4-star relics, but I actually did activate her E1, which I kind of regret, and my Tingyuan is also a bit more invested than I would have liked her to be, but she is at level 70. Her dance thing is at super imposition 2. Traces are not that great, and her relics, she still uses a bunch of 4-piece relic sets or relic pieces with speed as well as HP on this thing. Now I decided to forego more damage or increasing her buff by a little bit more, like her attack buff, for survivability, because I found that Tingyuan was just like getting one-shotted, or not one-shot, but she's basically getting two-shotted. Any amount of slightly poor RNG and she's dead and your whole run is done for. Me personally, I'm a little more conservative with that. I'm not trying to speed run this. I'm just trying to clear it and get the 3 stars. So I decided survivability much more important for Tingyuan. Now, why did I say she was more invested? Because I got really lucky when pulling for Jing Yuan. Look at this. I got E6 and like pretty much when I got E0 Jing Yuan, which was absolutely nutty. That was crazy. I just kept getting Tingyuan after Tingyuan. Now, a really important character that allowed me to actually 30-star the Memory of Chaos was actually Clara. And if you look at the element breakdown of the last 2 rounds, I think in particular Memory of Chaos 10, and we can see my Clara isn't quite fully built yet. She's at 75 out of 80, but this was when I was finally able to clear it. It was after buffing her up a little bit, and her light cone is still at 70 as well. Her traces are reasonable, but I did also prioritize getting this one, which increases Svarog's counter damage by a very hefty amount. Finally, for her relics, she's got some okay relics, but I did level up a few of her not so great relics, but just enough for her to get more attack to do noticeably amount more damage, and she's still at E0 as well. For the rest of the supports, I think I used pretty much some combination of these 9 characters that I fully built, or that I built pretty well at least, and we have Fire Trailblazer with 3000 defense, no speed. We have Japard with no speed, but a lot less defense. Personally, I found that my Japard's build like this was actually fine, and I have an energy recharge link rope, which I was just kind of experimenting, like whether defense or energy recharge, and I guess I just ended up settling for energy recharge. It was fine. I find that him getting his burst up, or him getting his ultimate up more was actually very valuable for my team. I don't know how much the energy recharge made a big difference there, but we also have this light cone for him, which makes him more likely to be attacked, which is very, very helpful on a character like Japard. For Trailblazer, I did get this thing to super in position 5. I'm not sure if I was lucky or not, or what banner I pulled on to get this, so do keep that in mind as well. This light cone in particular helps a ton when you have in Memory of Chaos 10, where there is a big full team nuke on your team from the boss there. Now, up next we have Natasha. Natasha's still at 60 out of 70. She is a total boss. Low investment character that ended up still carrying me very hard. You can tell that I spent most of my Memory of Chaos shards here on this light cone. This is almost entirely just from the Forgotten Hall light cone store that I got it to Super Imposition 4. Now, for traces, pretty underleveled. Relics, literal garbage. I just have some Wuthering Snow ones, you know, that aren't great. And finally, she is at Eidolon 5, which helps a little bit, but you know, it's Natasha. Let's talk about how long it took me to get here. Obviously, you know, since I'm making this video now, it's been about a full month since Honkai Star Rail was released, and I've been doing max refreshes ever since I believe day 1 when I could start spending the Trailblaze power. So what that means is that you get 8 refreshes a day, 480 stamina per day from refreshes. Now, just from naturally playing the game, I believe you get 180 off the top of my head. So what that means is that I am progressing about 3.66 times faster in terms of just the stamina efficiency compared to a free-to-play player. If a bigger math nerd than even myself wants to kind of dive into nitty-gritty to see roughly how long it would take a free-to-play player to reach this point, definitely leave that in the comments below. My personal estimation is about 4 to 6 months for the average free-to-play player to get their account roughly to this point. So let's next talk about a bit the teams that I ended up using for each Memory of Chaos, as well as how long each one took. Now, most notably, Memory of Chaos 9 and 10 were done with my current team and their current power level. So anything before Memory of Chaos 10, I was a bit weaker. I think for a lot of these, like I think Memory of Chaos 1 through 6 or 7, I was still at level like 70 out of 70. So do keep that in mind that obviously the threshold for the earlier ones is much lower, but you guys can see what teams I ended up using, and mixing and matching these 9 characters that I've invested into allowed me to 3-star every chamber in the Memory of Chaos, the current one at least. So do keep it in mind that after this patch is gone, the next Memory of Chaos will come, and then probably a new buff will come that will strongly favor some other type of character, like perhaps Nihility or whatever it is. And with that in mind, these teams are not going to be able to 3-star Memory of Chaos without those buffs, because that extra turn that you get is huge when it comes to the Memory of Chaos for your main DPS characters, either Hunt or Erudition characters. But we can see that just by the skin of my teeth, I was able to 3-star Memory of Chaos 9 and Memory of Chaos 10. And most notably, some important things to note was Memory of Chaos 9 was very difficult for my team because I did not have Ice DPS character, which is highly, highly recommended. Those wind dude archer guys, those big guys. So yeah, I was using basically Sail A to brute force without an elemental weakness on them. And we can see here that Sail A definitely took her time here, taking 14 turns to clear out the top half. However, when it comes to the second half, my stacked Jing Yuan was able to wipe it in just 6 waves, which is absolutely crazy. Without the proper elemental elements to deal with the enemies, things get a lot harder. And for Memory of Chaos 10, Clara as a second DPS character was absolutely crucial, and Jing Yuan was also useful here for breaking the second wave, which is a lightning weak robot, and he was also good in the third wave because obviously he's very AoE focused. There's 2 enemies. He's able to constantly do a ton more damage to both of the enemies thanks to the fact that he is an Erudition character. And Clara here though was absolutely critical for breaking the physical on those last 2 enemies, as well as just for doing more damage to them because, well, she's physical. So from what I've gathered here, I highly recommend having 2 out of the 3 meta DPS characters in order to do enough damage to clear these. Right now, those meta DPS characters really include Sail A, Jing Yuan, and Yan Qing, and to a lesser extent, but also you can see that Clara was critical in accomplishing this. Clara. Moving forward, we're going to see a similar pattern to this, where it's going to be important to have at least 2 very solid meta DPS characters, but honestly probably 3. With roughly this amount of investment into your team, level 80 characters, you can see that I was barely able to 3-star Memory of Chaos. Hopefully this will give you guys an idea for what to plan for into the future. Roughly how strong your account needs to be down the line in order to start considering 3-starring the Memory of Chaoses that may come at us. So let me know down in the comments below what your progress is as a free-to-play player, how far you are in comparison to my account, and how long you think it will take you to roughly reach this point. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is I Went to Lose, signing out.